Hey friends, welcome to today's video. Today we are going to be testing a new product. I teased this on Instagram stories and then I talked about it in our Beauty Chit Chat Facebook group page. I picked this product up because I was so intrigued by it. It's the No7 Match Made Custom Blend Foundation Drops. And it says to mix 1, 2, or 3 drops with a moisturizer or primer. I haven't ever used a product like this. I know there are products like this on the market, but it's not something that I had in my collection. So I thought it'd be fun to kind of test this. I'm gonna test this today. I haven't decided if I'm gonna try it with a primer or a moisturizer. I think we'll do the primer because I wanted to keep the skin of this video 100% drugstore, and I don't have a really good drugstore moisturizer at the time. So I think we'll do the L'Oreal Matte Lock Mattifying Primer. We'll mix those two together. So we're gonna test that. We're gonna be applying the Milani Conceal and Perfect Concealer that I am still on the fence about. And then we're gonna talk about the No7 powder that I have been loving, and I raved about this in my last drugstore video. We're gonna apply that as well on the skin. So before we get started, I have to make a comment about my skin. So I had a BBL treatment a week ago tomorrow. Tomorrow it'll be a full week ago. And I started to notice results yesterday. Today, I mean, I think it's the bright lights too, but like my skin looks so good. I mean, granted, I have a little concealer here, so this brown spot is a little more concealed than it normally is. See, if I wipe it away, you can see that brown spot more. But all the little like spots that I had in the center of my face are pretty much gone. So I am excited. I think I'm gonna do a second treatment and I'm gonna film that video, and then that way I'm going to show you guys what 2 treatments really does. So my follow-up video is gonna be a little delayed for that reason, but I did wanna give you guys a check-in. Let me see if I can get the camera closer just so you guys can see. So this is my skin with just moisturizer, SPF on, a tiny bit of concealer under here, but I have nothing on my face here, nothing on my forehead. I'm really impressed with how clear and bright it is. Really, really impressed. So anyway, I just want to give you that check-in. Let's go ahead and zoom you guys back out and we will start the video. Okay, so I picked up the shade Warm Ivory in these drops. Again, they're called the No7 Match Made Custom Blend Foundation Drops. Tiny, tiny little tube, but I assume that is because you just literally use a couple of drops to achieve your finish. So I'm gonna mix it with the L'Oreal Infallible Matte Lock Mattifying Primer. I found this in my drawer. I actually don't recall using this much. I'm going to squeeze out about this much on my hand. And I'm gonna add 3 drops of this. On the directions it says to mix 1, 2, or 3 or more drops. I kind of want to mix 3 because I want to see, okay, so the drops are pretty large and I can tell right off the bat that it's a really, really pigmented product. Just by looking at it, the pigment is really strong. I'm going to go ahead and put this on and then I'll show you on my hand the texture and consistency of this product alone. So then I'm going to go ahead and just mix it in with my fingers. Let me show you guys what this looks like when you mix it in. So when you mix it in, it actually starts to take the shade of like, and consistency of like a foundation. Honestly, like this to me feels and looks like a foundation. I mean, this does not look like a primer. So I'm gonna go ahead and apply this on the face. Since I already have it on my fingertip, I am gonna just kind of apply it with my finger and then I will blend it out with a brush. Okay, let me wipe this off, grab a foundation brush and start to blend away. So I'm just gonna kind of press it in. I always like to press and stipple my brush first, then I will take it and kind of work it into the skin and blend out any soft or any hard edges. Okay, that looks like a foundation. Like it looks like a foundation to me. That doesn't look any different than a foundation. I think obviously it's gonna vary depending on the product that you mix it with. I had this Wander Beauty brightening moisturizer on, like an illuminating moisturizer, which would probably definitely change the finish and payoff of these foundation drops. So it's kind of neat is that you can really customize the look that you want based on the mixing medium that you use, whether it's a primer or a moisturizer or even like a BB cream, something that already has pigment to it. All right, so I did that with my finger. I think what I'm gonna do is go on my left side and actually go straight with a brush. Okay, do you guys see that? I mean, that looks like a foundation. It's very consistent too. I wasn't sure if it was going to be consistent in color or be splotchy, but the 2 products mixed together really well. I'm pretty impressed. Okay, that looks so good. I cannot get over how glowing my skin is right now. It is crazy. It is really crazy. I really feel like I have brand new skin. Like from my skin 2 months ago to what it is today, it feels like completely different skin. All right, and I'm gonna go on my forehead. Yeah, this is really nice, you guys. This is really nice. Okay, and then I just have a little bit left on my hand, and I think that this looks like I can build this product. Like, it doesn't look heavy at all. I feel like I can add more and it's not gonna look like it's too much. So then I'm just gonna take this right across the center of my face and just kind of blot it in. I am gonna go and add a little more concealer. The concealer that I used this morning is pretty sheer, and I can still see I need a lot of coverage. So I'm gonna take a beauty blender for that. And when I use the beauty blender, I'm gonna go ahead and run it over and bounce it over this area here in the center of the face too. Okay, this product I'm really liking. This is really nice. Okay, so let's get the concealer on. I'm going to apply the Milani Conceal and Perfect Concealer. I talked about this in a video about a week ago, my drugstore video. I talked about how I wasn't sure how I felt about it. I do like this concealer. I'm gonna just go ahead and say it. I really like it, but I am gonna give the disclaimer that it is drier. It's a drier formula, and it's very full coverage. So some people who don't like a really full coverage, drier concealer will probably not like this. Like, there are some concealers that you use that you're just like, everyone needs this. And then there are some that are like, I like it, but I don't think everyone will like it. This is what this concealer is for me. It also dries pretty quickly, so I just did what I would probably advise you not to do, which is put the product on both eyes. I would actually do it on one eye, blend it out, and then go to the other eye because it does dry pretty fast. So you have to work fast. And I'm just gonna bounce this underneath the eye. But I really like the brightness that it gives. I have this shade Light Natural. It says 125 Light Natural, and it works really well. I think I could have gone darker if I wanted, but I actually like the brightness that this gives. I'm just gonna kind of run my beauty blender over my eyelid, really get right there in the corner. Especially if you're using a thicker consistency concealer like this, you really wanna make sure that you blend out that inner corner, because once that product dries, it's just gonna get cakey looking and not look very pretty. Okay, you guys, I'm gonna zoom you in so you can see my skin before I set this foundation, and I'm gonna keep you guys zoomed in so that you can see the magic of this powder. It's so beautiful. Okay, so we are up close and personal so you can really see my skin. So what we have on the skin right now is the L'Oreal Infallible Matte Lock Primer mixed in with 3 drops of the No. 7 Match Made Foundation Drops. This one looks a little dirty. What I like about this is that you can totally customize how much coverage you get. I think I could have added 1 drop and had a much sheerer finish or sheerer payoff, or I could have added more for more coverage, although I don't personally think I need that much coverage. I think this is a good amount. And then I have the concealer, which is the Milani Conceal and Perfect, and that is it. So I'm going to show you guys the skin now. I do feel pretty even. Now I'm going to set it with the No. 7 powder. This is the Lift and Illuminate Triple Action Powder. This is a product that I want to stand on the rooftops and rave about. It is so fantastic. So we are going to set the center of the face with this, and I'm going to show you what it looks like. Okay, so do you guys see, here we are, right here. Do you see how you can see my pores here? They're noticeable. I mean, I can clearly see them on the monitor, so I'm gonna assume you guys can too. So I'm just gonna kind of set right there. Now, it doesn't make them disappear, but it does smooth them out. It makes everything look a little bit more blurred. So I'm gonna do that one side before I go to the other so you guys can really see. Okay. Do you see how that just softened that area? I mean, you can still see a little texture here, but that has dramatically smoothed out the pores if you compare the two sides. It just gives the softest blurred effect without looking dry or without looking overly matte. It's so beautiful. I have the shade, which shade do I have? Light medium. So I can't recall how many shades they have in this, but judging by the fact that this is light medium, I'm gonna assume that they don't have a lot of shades because it doesn't sound too specific, you know? Oh, it just looks so nice. The skin just looks like the softest velvety matte finish. It is gorgeous. Perfect. I'm gonna let you guys see this before we zoom back out. Okay, so I'm gonna put my brows on and I will be right back. Okay, next I'm gonna apply bronzer, and I'm gonna use the Essence bronzer that I talked about recently. This is what it looks like. We're just gonna dust this on the cheeks and just around the hairline, real kind of like a soft veil of product. This product is a little light. I think I could have gone a little bit darker and it still would have worked for me, but I can build this to get the amount of warmth that I want on the skin. There we go, okay. Now, when I'm using the 103 bronzer brush, when I'm doing the sides of the cheeks, I really like to use the tip of the brush like this to apply it. When I'm doing the hairline, the tip is a little too wide. As you can see, the tip is wide. It's a lot wider than the area that I want to apply it. So what I'll do is I will take just the edge of that tip, just the edge. I don't have it like this. I have it about like this, and I will load up the product like that. And that's what I will apply on my hairline. That's the best way to kind of get a little more precision with this brush because it does have a really full, fluffy, wide tip. All right, and then I'm just gonna run it down the center of my nose because this product is a little bit lighter. I don't have to be too worried about it being too dark down there. So for blush, I'm gonna use the Catrice blush. I'm using a lot of products that I recently talked about in my drugstore video, but I wanted to show you guys these products in action. I know I did a little bit of a demo in that video, but I really wanted you to see it in a makeup application. So this is the shade Bronze, 06 Bronze, and it is the Catrice Blush Box. And I'm just gonna pop this right on my cheeks. It actually is pretty similar to the bronzer color on the skin, just a little bit deeper. So nice. Okay, before we get started with eye makeup, which I'm gonna turn the camera off, do it, and then I'll come back, I just have to say, I am looking at my skin, you guys. To me, my skin looks as good as it would with any high-end foundation and setting powder and concealer combination. I know I've said it before, I feel like Drugstore has come a really long way, but this particular combination of products, I mean, it just looks flawless. I love it. Okay, so let me go do my eye makeup and I will be right back. And we're back. So as I was doing my eye makeup and I was looking a little bit closer to my skin, I have to say, you guys, this is really impressive. I am really, really impressed with this product. Now, I do think that it's likely gonna vary the finish depending on the mixing medium that you use with it, whether it's a moisturizer or a primer. This is a mattifying primer, so I think that obviously is gonna play into the way the finish looks, right? But for me, this is very full coverage. I mean, this is full coverage to me. It's very matte, things look smooth. I did test this the other day with the Wander Beauty Hidden Glow. That was the only other time I've ever worn it. So this is actually the second time I've worn it. I haven't gotten a lot of use with this yet, but when I wore it with this, I put on at least 2 drops. I don't think I put 3, but I put 2 drops. And the coverage, which was much more sheer. Now, I think it's obviously that I used 1 less drop probably, but also this has a glow to it and it's a moisturizer. So the texture and finish is gonna be different than a primer. So I'm kind of hesitant for a product like this that has so many variables depending on what you mix it with, how it's gonna pay off. But this, I like. I really, really, really like it. This looks to me like a high-end, full coverage, velvety matte finish. I'm impressed. I am impressed, you guys. So as always, I will have all the products linked down below. If you guys are curious what is on my eyes, because I got complimented on this makeup look so much in a recent video, it is the Essence Beautiful palette. I love this palette. It is fantastic. I have been going to this pretty much every single day since I purchased it. So I have this one on my lid. It's called Grey Jean. I have this one in the buff underneath my eyebrow. And then I have this one here, My Time, in my crease. So just have those 3. I've been wearing these like non-stop. I've also worn this one. This one's really pretty. This is a fantastic palette. Highly recommend. I think it was like $10. All right, you guys, that wraps up this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye-bye.